Hey everyone, I did a head-to-head early in the week on Adore Beauty, Mecca and Sephora. Little 10 slide things that I do barely scratch the surface of sites like these. I wanted to talk through in a little bit more detail some of the comparisons and contrasts here that we see between them. First off, and one of the strategy elements I mentioned that a lot of them are going after is on the brand side of things. So example here for Aesop from Adore Beauty. You can see they've got this brand focused landing page here, a lot of copy at the top, a lot of details, a lot of links through to both specific products and different sort of subcategory level pages to the brand. And you think if someone's going to be searching for Aesop themselves, they're also potentially searching for, Aesop hand wash or body wash, etc. So having those targeted sub-level pages is a really good way and a really good SEO implementation here. Lots of content, again, the sort of hidden in this expansion section as well, also deals with that duality of balancing brand experience and how this page looks like. So you're not just seeing a wall of text right at the top unless you want to, but you're also getting that value higher up on the page with Google. Again, those sort of tiled links through to the different subcategories within this brand that they've got. Your whole product range there as well, going all the way down, links off to some community sort of blog articles, I guess, related to the topic there as well. So definitely a good experience here. One thing I would flag that I'm surprised to not see from an e-commerce perspective is ratings and reviews on these product tiles. I understand it might be a bit of a cleaner aesthetic and vibe that they're sort of going for, but even being able to see, hey, this is 4.7 stars, 80 reviews, 200 reviews, whatever it might be. I feel like those sort of elements, particularly when you're showing 100 plus products for this brand, do help convey the legitimacy, the quality, help steer people towards which ones might be better or not. So honestly, all round, really good from Adore Beauty as far as this is concerned. Moving on to Mecca now, taking Frank Body as the example, we can see that this is much more sparse and limited in comparison. We do have links off here to those sort of subcategories within the brand, so Frank Body, hair, skincare, etc. But outside of that, there's really not a lot on this page aside from the product tiles and some other little, again, brand imagery content, I'm going to call it here. There's a tiny little block of text at the bottom that doesn't really say a huge amount. This is sort of, what I'd call the bare minimum from an SEO perspective to get started in terms of text copy on a page like this, but definitely doesn't hold a candle to Adore Beauty in terms of the value and the detail that they're giving up here. Sephora, again, we are seeing, take Laneige as an example, links through to these sort of subcategory pages up here, so Laneige makeup or skincare, again, where they're relevant and where people are searching them in Google, will definitely help those pages rank. Again, a lot of sort of the clean product layout here. A little bit of copy at the bottom, again, similar to what we saw on Mecca. It's a few sentences. It gets some context and some relevance in there, but it's not as expansive as we saw with Adore Beauty, for example. Do want to also call out the breadcrumb aspect of these brand pages and sites, even if it is a simple hierarchy, home, brands, Frank Body, for example. That does help, Google link all of these pages together, and we'll see that on the sort of product side of things now. So if we go through to a sort of non-branding category, so for example, niacinamide serums, if that's how you pronounce it, vitamin B, again, Adore Beauty first up, and they're really doing good things from an SEO perspective. If I, was put forward to this client, I'd be sort of, clutching at straws to see what needs to be done, because it's clear that a lot of work has been put in over time. You've got some decent, valuable content over here. What is niacinamide? What does it do? Who should use it? How do I use it? Again, links through to some of those top products there before you actually get into the whole product grid there itself. Again, some more sort of review content and stuff highlighted down there. And as we talked about with the breadcrumbs as well, linking that within the hierarchy beneath serums, skincare as well. And if we go up to that serums and treatments level there as well, you can again see the links back out to these subcategories, again, based on type, anti-acne, soothing, peels, exfoliating, whatever it might be. These sort of tiled links up here as well. So again, really good SEO from an internal linking content perspective, page targeting and structure that I would call out for Adore Beauty there. Mecca, take facial toners as an example. Again, we do have this sort of breadcrumb menu under here, under skincare, but it is, again, very streamlined and basic, and there's almost minimal content here from an SEO perspective. Again, one sort of paragraph on facial toners. The way they're presenting this related categories is also interesting. It's not the most clear UX side of things in terms of, yes, they're trying to highlight they've got 377 products under here, 410 moisturizers, but I would argue that that's not as intuitive or natural as how you'd be used to seeing a link through to a subcategory page. So different implementation, maybe it works from a UX perspective, but definitely something different there. Moving through to Sephora now. Again, internal linking, the sort of breadcrumb there, home, makeup, eyes, mascara we're taking as this example. Starting off straight into this sort of recommended for you section, which again, I assume if you're logged in or if you've got a bit of browsing history on the site, it's probably quite well targeted and might actually work well from a conversion perspective. Again, obviously the product side of things, some copy at the bottom here as well. I'd say this is relatively decent and helpful for what's on the page. What is mascara, how to apply it, and then a little bit of content about the different types, and again, waterproof, lengthening, curling, volumizing, etc. What I don't see off a page like this, and calling it out as an example, is that beneath mascara, if you're there talking about all of these different types beneath here, whereas the connection through to a subcategory page for lengthening mascaras or waterproof mascara, as an example, if I do a search for their site specifically, so for a waterproof mascara, we can see a couple of pages here by best waterproof mascara, by water resistant mascara as well. If you've been following me for a time or seen some stuff that I published a few months ago, these sort of pages in this sort of pattern, there's a couple of providers in market that will bulk generate a very large volume of targeted landing pages like this, focused specifically on keywords or themes that people are searching for that match up to a product assortment or selection. So you can see this landing page here, buy best waterproof mascara at Sephora. You've got 10 products here, and honestly, there's also a UX element of this that I think is, for some people, a lot easier than going through a list of 6 pages, probably 150 plus products within this category overall, where they're just showing you, hey, it might be the top 10 that they want to push or the top 10 that match a few certain parameters, but being able to be given a cut down selection like this could actually be an easier and high converting product purchase decision. But the contrast element of these sort of pages and this sort of structure, and again, the software platforms that generate these, is that this is not internally linked from within the rest of the navigation and the architecture, whether it's from the actual mascara page within here. There's nothing from here linking off to this waterproof mascara landing page. It's not linked from within the main menu there as well. I was working with a big client recently doing some auditing work. They'd used a software similar to this, or possibly exactly the same one. And overall, it was those same sort of problems that kept on coming up, that when things aren't well integrated with the rest of the site, even if they might be simple, straightforward pages, keyword targeted, they do rank. I'm not denying that they don't rank. These pages on Sephora get 40,000 visitors a month in total at the moment. You can see a lot of those keywords there, a lot of that sort of structure all under the buy subfolder, and targeting people, keywords and themes that people are searching for, that just aren't covered within the current hierarchy or menu structure of the site. Again, you do have thousands of potential landing pages and queries, so it's not like everything can be linked from the main menu or get its own landing page. But I would always advocate for that as the strongest long-term solution. What we can see also with this, and again, noting the client that I'd worked on and the provider that they were using for this, has actually gone out of business recently. Adore Beauty was also doing this, sort of implementation with these landing pages targeted to these terms. And they've obviously seen that section of their site, these buy pages on Adore Beauty, fall off completely because they've disappeared and had to redirect them elsewhere on the site. Sephora was either using their own implementation or they've copy-pasted and sort of hard-coded the code themselves to keep this functionality running for these pages. Adore Beauty obviously haven't, so they've lost that off recently in the last month or so. About 20,000 visitors that they've lost there. But again, you can see, interestingly, over time that's declining. And if I go back on a longer time frame still, You can see that they launched this first in 2018 or so. It got to a peak of about 80,000 visitors a month, which is obviously huge. And for a brand and for an SEO approach, you'd say, well, that's great to ramp that up in such a short period of time, be able to create these pages targeting these keywords, get the rankings and get the traffic. But you can see that obviously that's declined off as well. And what my position was 3 months ago and still is today is that, yes, you can create separate pages and have this implementation and the structure. But if they're not well integrated with the rest of the site, if you're not actually also building out or linking those from the relevant landing pages and hierarchies within your e-commerce menu, then those pages are always going to underperform over time there. So thought I'd flag that as a little bit more detail, talking through, as I said in my carousel, how you approach and start thinking about SEO and strategies on large retailer sites like this, what you can do from a brand perspective, what you can do from a sort of non-branded product category perspective, subcategory pages, things like that. Internal linking are always important. So is the content that you're putting on the page, not just short sentences of text, but actually talking a little bit more about the category, talking about the subtypes, the different elements and things that people will need to consider or factor in when they're choosing these sort of products. Definitely a lot of opportunity in these sort of categories, and like I said, a lot of changes that Google's also making to the landscape and what your search results page is actually going to look like before you even get through to a website like this. So never a dull moment in SEO. Let me know your thoughts and keep doing more of these. Cheers.